Welcome to Our Hen House. This is Marianne Sullivan.
And this is Jasmine Singer.
This week, Jasmine has a really, really extraordinary interview. She will be speaking with Musisi Mike, who is the Ugandan activist who has founded and is running Luv4All Uganda, which is devoted to uplifting human and non-human beings. And he's also the director of the all-vegan Atlas Community School in Uganda.
Whoa. So cool. Like, brilliant guy. And it was so amazing to just touch base with him about what's going on in Uganda. He's doing extraordinary work, like truly extraordinary. I've been so excited to share this with everyone. And I also want to add that we are including two versions of this on this episode, where we have a voiceover version because our accent and his accents they're not necessarily easy to understand together. So we have someone who is doing a voiceover with what might make it easier for some of our listeners. But if you want to hear Musisi, just stay on the episode until the end because we'll play his full interview without the voiceover. So hopefully that's helpful for people. And yeah, I'm so excited about this. Isn't it cool?
Well, I just love these interviews that show how worldwide veganism is and caring about animals. And it makes me feel like, you know, I've said it before, like we're just so connected to people who, you know, more connected in some ways to people in Uganda who get it about animals than we are connected to the people next door having the barbecue. It's one of the feelings that really makes me keep going.
While you were talking, I just got a kiss on the heel of my foot. And it wasn't by a human, by the way.
Oh, that's good. Who was it from?
It was from Louise.
Louise and Herbert.
Louise and Herbert.
Two creatures that we are about to talk about. So tell everybody.
Okay. So Louise and Herbert are the newest members of my household, making the grand total of non-human residents who live with me 5.
Unless you still have those mice in the basement.
Okay. I'm just going to believe I don't, since I annoyingly have a mouse phobia, which I realize is a very unfortunate thing for a vegan. And I don't want them to die. I don't want to kill them, but I also kind of faint when I see them.
Right, sorry I distracted you. Let's get back to Louise and Herbert.
So Louise and Herbert, I was shocked. I'm still a little shocked when Moore brought up the other day. She said that she found online a bonded pair of Jack Russell Chihuahuas. And I was like, oh, that's funny. Because if I gave birth, I would definitely give birth to Chihuahuas. And if you gave birth, you would definitely give birth to Jack Russells. So clearly this is like our children. Ha ha ha.
Oh my God. I don't know why you're repeating this to the world, but keep going.
What? We did give birth to them. Didn't you give birth to your rescued cats? I'm confused.
All right, let's move on from this, from the shtick.
Okay. Not a shtick. Moving on anyway, since you obviously don't get it. That's okay. So we went to, I haven't even been allowed to look on Pet Finder, just so that we're clear. And Moore found these animals, and one thing led to another. And we have this little darling Murray who we got last year, who we rescued, and he has a lot of energy, and we try and have him play with our next door neighbor dog, and they're close, but they don't get to play nearly enough. And he clearly needs another dog to run around with. Our other dog is our probably 16 or 17-year-old who knows Chihuahua, George, who's a sweet little guy and definitely not up for the challenge of keeping Murray entertained. So one thing led to another. We found ourselves applying. And then I was like, oh my God, I'm in love with them and I haven't even met them. I literally did
you overreacting?
I did a witch spell. That's how much I want. I did I printed out their picture and I did a come to me spell, which by the way,
God. How much are you going to reveal about your weird psyche in the 3 minutes of this intro?
So it's not like I believe in that much. I think it's just sticky and fun, but I like the theater of it, And by the way, as you're making fun of me, I'm pretty sure I used a spell book that you got me.
Well, so, I pander. I'm not denying that.
Right. I pander. That's all I was doing was pandering. Also, it was funny. Like, it's all funny. And I play cool music and I burn cool incense and it's just like the theatrics. Anyhow, so we wound up adopting them.
Could you like do a spell to stop everybody from eating animals?
Oh my gosh, why haven't I thought of that? That's all it would take. I know that like all of these activists who come on our hen house are doing these really incredible campaigns, but are any of them doing witchcraft? Actually, we did have a witch on our hen house, my friend Angie Lovell. If you're interested in that, go look up that episode because she was friggin' awesome. And I loved that episode. And I love Angie. It was really cool. Anyhow, so this past weekend, and you came with us, which I'm very grateful to you for this because we couldn't have done it without you. But after we, applied for these dogs and then like sent in the photos and then they checked our references, you were one of them. Our dog sitter was one of them and our vet was one of them.
I said you were very nice.
Thank you. Did you say I was out of my mind for getting more animals?
They did not ask me, is she out of her mind? So I didn't feel like I had to volunteer it.
Okay. Well, thank you I appreciate that. One thing led to another. We wound up driving an hour and a half with our current dogs, Murray and George, and you on Saturday. And they were at like a canine festival, basically, in this town called Jamesville, New York. And
we almost went to Jamestown.
Yeah.
Which is like 2 hours in the other direction.
Yeah. That would have been not as good.
But it is where the Lucille Ball Museum is.
We should definitely go to that.
I really want to go there.
I think it's more like 3 hours away, by the way. That's a big day trip.
I drive faster than you do.
Definitely. Well, I drive fast. Never mind. I don't want to get into that. We have cruise control, though. So whatever. On our new fan. I mean, cruise control is nothing new. I don't know why I'm excited by it.
I don't know either. Like, can you get back to the story?
Yes. By the way, I was told today I don't have ADHD.
Yeah, it's really hard to believe.
Okay. So we go and we're at this like festival walking around for Gertie's small dog rescue, which is where we were adopting them from. And we basically, you started recording, George started barking his face off, our little chihuahua. We met the little babies, Louise and Herbert, and they're just these adorable bonded pair they were litter mates once upon a time. Since then, they've been in 5 homes, or we're their 5th home, I should say. And Murray, our like rescue poodle, was our rescued small poodle. He was very into it. He was like, cool, come home with us. We'll play. I've got some toys. I've got some laps. George was like, what in the name of God are you doing with my moms? Like, get away. But then like a few hours later, he's like, fine, whatevs. Anyway, so we brought them home and we have a very full house and I'm definitely not even remotely used to it. In fact, today's the first work day that we've both had with the dogs. And before, at some point, Moore was out with one of our dogs and the 2 newbies were downstairs and they started like howling and they were like singing in perfect thirds. I was on a meeting at the time and I was like, all right, it's going to be very interesting to record interviews. I don't know how this is going to go, but...
Yeah, I think the whole, like, they're part Chihuahua, part Jack Russell, they sound like beagles. They have that woo
yeah,
thing.
No, that was totally it. You speak Jack Russell Chihuahua.
No,
and
it's
also,
beagle.
By the way, Moore is like working in her office right now, but she can hear me. She just texted me and said, don't forget that we went to Strong Hearts. So yes, we went to Strong Hearts, which is like one of my favorite vegan restaurants in Syracuse on the way there. And that's always a lovely stop. If you're in Syracuse or Buffalo, you have to go because they have one in Buffalo now. And we're right in between Buffalo and Syracuse. So
yeah, but too far from either one to go there very often.
So it's an extra big treat when we do get to go. And I wear my Strong Hearts hoodie like all the time.
When we go to the I Love Lucy Museum in Jamestown, now that we know that we need to do that, we can go to the Strong Hearts in Buffalo. Do you think everybody's really interested?
No, I don't think so.
In the day-to-day?
No, not at all. But anyway, so we have these 2 little new darlings, 5 animals. If you have 5 animals and you're listening to this, please like send me a message so that I don't feel alone in the bananasness of this. So yeah. And by the way, another quick thing I want to say is since we last recorded, we saw Tig Notaro do a show here in Rochester, and I've seen her. I actually have seen her do that show before. I didn't realize that until we were there. That was years ago in LA when I was living in LA. And in LA, I used to run into her all the time, like at Cafe Gratitude in Larchmont. And I ran into her
she's
twice
vegan,
there.
so
Yeah, exactly.
makes
And
sense
then
a little bit.
I've interviewed her for Veg News, and that interview recently played on the Veg News podcast. So, and then I remember she was a supporter of PCRM. So I was at like a PCRM event once and she was there and like we talked. So we've been in similar circles and I'm a huge fan of hers, like massive fan. Anyway, so the next day after we saw her, I was at a coffee shop with two of my friends. And it's
not a vegan coffee shop.
Not a vegan coffee shop. My friends are vegan. And we're sitting there and we're talking about the show because they were also there. And I said, all right, we have to stop talking about it. She could walk in any moment. Ha 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 ha. So we move on. 15 minutes later, Tig Notaro walks in the doors of the coffee shop. Swear to God. And I go, stop. I say to my friends, stop. Tig just walked in. And they're like, what? And I'm like, I'm going to go say hi to her. So I like get up and I'm like, hey, Tig, I'm Jasmine Singer. I've interviewed you before for Veg News. And she was like, oh, right. Yeah. So we chatted a little bit and then I didn't want to be that person. So I went back.
You were kind of already that person, but I think it's okay.
I don't think I was really that person because I knew her. Ish.
No, that's true. That's true.
Like if it was someone else, I would not have gone up to them. I am not the Jasmine I was.
Oh, it's difficult. I always feel like celebrities, it's kind of like they don't want to be bothered, but they kind of do want to feel like everybody knows who they is. So it's kind of like you have to like draw that fine line.
Right.
So I don't think it's so terrible to go up